As a homeschool kid, and now as a homeschool parent, the number one most common question I receive besides, isn't homeschooling hard, is, what about socialization? This is often phrased in different ways. Sometimes it's, how do I help my homeschool kid relate to public school kids? Or, aren't homeschool kids weird? Or, I would go crazy sitting at home all day. But at the end of the day, they all boil down to the same things. In the person asking the question's mind, homeschool kids are other, set apart, or different from the standard, or the rule, or the norm. And that makes the person asking the question uncomfortable. I answer this question in different ways based on how well I know the person, how interested I think they are in hearing my actual answer, and how snarky I'm feeling that day. There are tons of ways to answer this question, ranging from, we don't live in a cave, Karen, to showing them all the ways your child has a vibrant social life. They're in dance, they're in soccer, they're in art club. But today I'm going to address how the question itself is the wrong question and has some pretty flawed assumptions. Let me ask you some questions, or put out some different scenarios. The child who has to bring a sack lunch from home instead of eating hot lunch in the cafeteria is going to be other. The child who gets bullied, or the child who is super popular, the child who comes from a rich family and gets to go on big vacations all the time and miss school. The child who is barely passing or has to be held back a grade. They're all going to have different experiences and could have a hard time relating to those who didn't experience life the way they did growing up. I'm reminded of Pippi Longstocking, which my kids and I just read for a homeschool co-op book club. Her two friends are trying to convince her to go to public school. And their main reason for her to go, or to want to go, is because they get summer holiday and Christmas holiday. And Pippi wants to get vacation time too, so of course she goes to public school. She goes for a day and then realizes pretty quickly that the benefit of having a vacation from school is not worth the cons of actually having to attend public school. So she decides to give herself a vacation whenever she wants to instead. Why should anyone send their child to public school so they can be socialized appropriately? Is the small benefit of having to ride the bus with other kids and a half hour of recess and lunch sufficient reason to send children to public school? Yes, kids are surrounded by other kids for many hours every day. But how many times does the teacher tell them to stop talking and pay attention? Yes, shared experiences can help friendships blossom, but there are so many more quality venues to nurture and develop friendships. I want to give most parents who ask me this question the benefit of the doubt and assume they're simply concerned about protecting their own children instead of insulting mine, which is a good thing. However, there's going to be challenges in every way you choose to educate your children. My husband mentioned to me that even though he was public schooled, he didn't watch TV in his home. And the popular topic was talking about popular TV shows when you were riding the bus and at recess. So he was definitely an other in that regard. So I guess to sum up my feelings about this question, instead of simply asking the question, will my child be other or set apart or different in some way because we choose to homeschool, maybe ask the question, how can I empower my child to lead out in their individuality and not try to force them into some preconceived notion of normal to simply fit in? As always, I'm your homeschool doula, here to help you navigate the ins and outs of homeschool life, ask the hard questions, and empower you to homeschool your family in your best way without trying to fit into whatever the popular kids prescribe as the right way. Thanks for watching.